So if you're looking to buy a home in the Orlando area or any part of Florida, you need to make sure that you don't make these mistakes. Now, I'm going to tell you, these mistakes are pretty serious, but you don't want to skip any of these. Make sure you watch all the way to the end, because at the end, I'm going to ask a very special question I'd love to hear your feedback on. So, what are the 7 worst mistakes you could possibly make? Well, number 1, making sure you don't understand your options and making sure in those options that you haven't done the right thing with your credit, your income, and your assets to open it up to get all the possible options. You see, the biggest issue we face as mortgage lenders is that most of the people who come to us have not done a good job of preparing themselves with their credit and understanding what it needs to be in order to get them the terms that they're looking to accomplish. Because with the banks, any of the banks, doesn't matter which one you're working with, it's all about risk versus reward. And this is a really big deal, because I'm going to tell you that if the bank perceives risk, they're going to charge you more. So making sure that you get your credit straight up front is a really good deal. Some of that can be as simple as just paying down your credit cards. That's it. Really no brainer. Why not get less than 30% use on your credit cards? That can be the difference in 20, 30 points on your credit score, and can make a whole lot of difference when it comes to locking in that interest rate or paying points, which is the interest related to that on the interest rate. The next thing with that one first option, or understanding your options, is making sure that your income is under control and that you know how your budget is working in comparison to all your debts. Income plays a huge role, especially if you change jobs. Why is that a big deal? You're still getting paid, right? Probably even getting paid better than you were before. It's the manner in which you're getting paid that plays a huge role. If you're going from a company to a staffing company, that can be a problem, because staffing companies are considered the most unstable of all opportunities when it comes to work. Or maybe you jumped around a couple times. Jumping around can be a problem as well. So you limit your options by the more risk you present to the bank. Huge deal. Assets or down payments, that plays another big role in your options. It cuts back your options the less money that you have to put down. That doesn't mean that there aren't grants, that there aren't down payment assistance programs, that there aren't some great sources to help you get into these homes. But you just need to make sure that you understand that, once again, more risk, more reward, but not reward for you, reward for the bank. So you want to present less risk so that you can have more reward. That's a big deal. Item number 2, biggest mistakes a lot of people make is not preparing for the cost. This is a really big deal. You have to make sure that you're all set up for the cost and you understand what the risk and the reward is for each one of these costs that you're going to be setting up for. This is a big deal because there's legal fees for the transfer of the home. There is prepaid, where you're prepaying your insurance and your taxes. There is transfer cost with the title company. Nowadays, you have to consider the cost that a realtor actually brings to the table. That's a big deal. You got to make sure that you understand what those costs are up front, and that you have a lender who is completely giving you everything you need to know about your costs, because if you're not, you could be surprised at the closing table by having hidden fees or by having surprises that are not quite the best surprises, at least not like Christmas surprises, let's put it that way. So you don't want to have a negative surprise at the closing table, because that just ruins the aspect of buying your first home. My name, by the way, is Chris Parks, and I am with the Parks Mortgage Group, and we serve all over Florida, and specifically here in the Orlando area. We'd love an opportunity to reach out with you and to help you buy this next home, whether it's this week, next month, or next year. If you're thinking about buying a home, I've got something that might help you. My team and I have actually put together this fantastic ultimate home buying guide. Yes, it's meant to save you hours of research. We've got information about the community. We've got information about how to get pre-approved, how to make an offer, how to close a deal. I can even present great realtors to you who will definitely know how to best negotiate on your behalf. And that's a really big deal. This step-by-step guide covers everything. And it's meant to save you hours. So if you're really looking for it, just look down in the comments down below and download it and go for it. Here's the best part. It's free. It's really designed for just you. It's free, no obligation. We'd love the opportunity to talk to you, but there is no obligation. So just click in the description or in the comments that are pinned and, download it and let us know your thoughts. Now, item number 3. This is a really big deal. Big mistakes. Caving into high pressure negotiations. At some point in time, it's worth walking away. And we've seen many times over the last couple years where the market has really been on the seller side as far as being able to buy homes. We've seen people get pushed into corners buying homes that may not necessarily have completely suited them because they were forced to make an impression right away, forced to make a decision right away, and sometimes the pressure was just way more than made sense. Some of these high pressure negotiation tactics are really risky for you. And some of them can be like waiving a home inspection. Now, sometimes you have to be competitive and maybe limit what you're going to ask out of that. But at the same point in time, wouldn't you like to know if there's a damage to the foundation, or if the roof has got major issues, or if there's bigger issues within the house? I mean, yeah, these are big items. You want to make sure that you're not caught holding deferred maintenance, and that in essence, you're the one that is actually protected when it comes to this. So waiving inspections is not a good idea, but also high pressure tactics that are used can sometimes make life miserable for you later when you realize, yeah, you won the house, but what did you really win? Those are big deals. Item number 4, you need to form a team. You need to form a team that is going to help you, that is going to be suited in your best interest to help you buy this home. You need to start with mortgages. You need to start by understanding how much you can afford, how much your credit is going to be putting you into a situation as far as cost, if your income supports what you're looking to buy, if your assets are sufficient to make this work. Now, the reason why I say start this with a mortgage person and someone that you can look eyeball to eyeball and make sure that you have a good relationship with them and that they truly are vested in your best interest. This is a really big deal, because if they're not, they're going to sell you whatever product and they don't really care. They just want to get paid. And while getting paid is a big deal, because we only get paid once the loan closes. We don't get paid just for showing up or answering questions. We want to make sure that it closes. But there are certain loans that are easier for me than are good for you. And so making sure that you're getting what you want is extremely important. So getting oriented to that, having a really good conversation and understanding who you can trust is a big deal. Another person that you need to include in this is somebody who's going to represent you in the negotiations of this contract. Now, there's 3 different places that you can go for this, and it can be very expensive depending on which way you want to go. With a new situation with the National Association of Realtors, what you need to know with that is that the commissions are no longer paid for by the seller. At least they're not obligated to. So you need to understand what your obligation is to this realtor. Did you know that on a $500,000 house, you would be paying on a 3% commission, it'd be $15,000. Well, if you don't have the additional savings, that could put you in quite a bind. But also that $15,000, if you actually look at it over the 30 years of this mortgage, that's the equivalent of $42 a month. That's a really big number. So you want to make sure that if you are going to hire a real estate agent to perform the negotiations for you, and it's a good idea to consider that because they are some really good ones, you need to make sure that you are contracting with an exceptional realtor, because the pain of $42 a month for 30 years is a lot of money. It's worth it if they negotiate a really good deal for you, but it's not worth it if they're self-serving and they're not willing to help you. And there is a big difference between them. If you need a list, I'm more than happy to set you up with a great partner who can help you in real estate. And you can pick. I'll give you a list of some people and you can pick whatever you want to do. An attorney can also negotiate on your behalf. Now, they tend to be probably a little less expensive, mainly because they're only going to be doing bite-sized pieces, whereas a realtor is going to be helping you from beginning to end. An attorney may just do the contract negotiation, they might do the inspection negotiation, they might do some additional things, and they can also do the settlement for you, which is actually pretty important to make sure that you're getting good paperwork and that they aren't missing defects that might be in the title. So an attorney plays a big role. Having them on this can be a good place. So you can choose the attorney to actually do the negotiations, or you can just choose to have them do the title work and the transfer, the legal transfer from the seller to you as the purchaser. There are some other ones that are in the market right now too, which are disruptors. Some of these disruptors, they do have pretty decent programs, but you're in essence representing yourself. Now, that's not necessarily a bad thing, but you do need to keep in mind that you don't know what you don't know. So if they don't have a comprehensive list of how to set you up for this, you could be setting yourself up for trouble. So make sure, item number 4, you have a team, a really good team that can help you with this negotiation on buying this home. Number 5, here's a big one. Check your neighbors out. Now, I'm not saying spy on them and be all creepy like that, but what I am saying is drive through the neighborhood. Make sure that you understand what's happening in the neighborhood. And it's probably not a bad idea to drive through the neighborhoods that you're checking out, that you really want to possibly live in. Pull in after hours, pull in on weekends, pull in the evening, in the morning. Try to understand what's going on in that neighborhood. There's nothing worse than a bad neighbor. And understanding if you're going to have somebody who loves to play hip hop in the middle of the night or somebody who loves to party on weekends, those are going to be pretty big deals for you to understand and make sure that you're setting yourself up. If you're looking for something where you don't necessarily want and love hip hop, or you don't want to join the party, you're looking for a little bit more peace and quiet, you get where I'm headed. It's a good idea to check out your neighbors. Number 6, one of the big risks that I see is that some people put every penny they have into buying this house, not understanding that after they move into the house, not only do they need to eat, but they may need additional things. Like one of the big things that I missed when I bought my first house, I forgot all about a lawnmower. Guess what? I had to go buy right away because my wife wouldn't let me have goats. I had to go get a lawnmower. That's a big deal. So you need to make sure that you understand not only what it's going to take to move into the house as far as buying it, but what are some of the accessories that you might need after you've moved in, like a lawnmower. Because most people in most neighborhoods don't necessarily want you having a goat. That's a big deal. Number 7, not starting soon enough. I'm going to tell you, it doesn't hurt you at all if you're looking to buy next year to go ahead and get started right now. Buying right now or buying next year, it's a really good idea to get prepared. Because sometimes what I've seen with people is they don't know that there are certain things on their credit that have happened. They don't know that that one random visit to the ER never got paid for. It's a good idea to understand what's on your credit. You can do some of this yourself by going to annualcreditreport.com and pull in your own credit report. That's a really good place to go. You can pull that and do that pretty easily by yourself, but it's not a bad idea to understand your options and make sure that you have somebody who can analyze your credit, your income, and your assets and give you a really good assessment, because next year rolls around very quickly. Now, I just want to thank you for joining me. If you're looking to buy next week, next month, or next year, we'd love a conversation with you. We'd love the opportunity to share some time with you. Give us a call. If not, just give us a like, give us a subscribe, and share the video. We would love to hear more from you and see what we can do to serve you and yours. Now, here's the question. I have a really big question with you. What is the worst experience you've ever had with a neighbor? I'd love to hear that from you, because let me tell you what, I've had a few. My son had a real doozy, and I can tell you that I've seen some pretty crazy stuff with neighbors these days. So leave that in the comments below. Let me know what you think. We would love to hear all about what you have and what you're moving to Florida. Let us know. We'd love to have an opportunity to serve you and your family in the coming days. Thanks for the opportunity, sir.